In 1910, an independence movement starts with Miguel Hidalgo calling to the Mexican people to fight the Spanish Empire. In 1920, after 10 years of a kind of civil war, Mexico obtains its independence. José María Morelos y Pavón, an important character to this movement who was a priest, said, "May slavery be vanished forever, together with the distinction between castes." It was supposed that then everyone was free and everyone had rights. However, in recent days, it has been discovered a ship that sank in the coast of Yucatan in Mexico in 1961. But why is this important? Well, the importance of this new discovery is because the use of the ship. It has been identified as a ship which transferred Mayan slaves from Mexico to Cuba. It is an important chapter of our history that we mustn't forget. Despite this, there is little research about this subject, which has not presence in the Mexican people's minds, says Helena Barba, head of the underwater archaeology at INA in the Yucatan Peninsula. She mentions this because Mexicans think that with the independence, the slavery finishes forever, but that's not quite right. In fact, this new discovery proves that. The remains of the boat were found in 2017, less than 4 kilometers from the coast of Cizal, in the state of Yucatan. Since 1855, the boat made a route between the islands and several cities on the east coast of Mexico. It was precisely in these years that an important episode in Mexican history took place: the War of Castes of Yucatan, Guerra de Castas in Spanish, in which native populations faced abuses by elites. It was in this context that Mayan people were translated from Mexico to Cuba, sometimes convincing them with false promises, and others captured in war and sold as slaves. Women, men, and even children were sold for only 25 pesos. In 1860, after an inspection, the Mexican authorities knew what was happening. Benito Juárez, who was the president in that time, was notified, and he issued a decree to prevent the forced extradition of any Mayan individual. But it really doesn't work. This practice continued as always. For 80 years, archaeologists have been working to locate all these submerged treasures in the surroundings of the peninsula. These studies have really taken into account the testimonies of the local fishing communities, testimonies which were transmitted by their grandparents or great-grandparents. We go town by town on a pilgrimage that has helped us identify all these Greeks, uniting these stories and legends as a primary source of information, says Barba. Future plans are give accessibility and visibility to this new discovery. But despite the discovery and identification of La Unión, the underwater archaeologist believes there is much more to the story to investigate. I think it would be worth looking for the descendants of those indigenous people in Cuba and here in Yucatan. See if they return, who stayed there. Listening the stories that many will be told by their great-grandparents will be very interesting, she concludes.